Next, we're going to hear from the CEO of Rugby Australia. Please make him feel welcome, Phil Waugh.
Thank you very much, and ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. There's so many special guests and friendly faces in the room this afternoon, and it's great to see so much support for Schools Rugby. But I do want to call out a few distinguished guests. To special mention to President of Australian Schools Rugby Union, Kevin Culliver, long-time President and President when I was playing, Brother Bob Wallace, Chair of the Australian Schools Rugby Union Foundation, David Mortimer. Also, special mention to the 1985 undefeated team and all the other former players, and I can see around the room there's lots of players who played schoolboy rugby and also World Cup winning players here as well, with David Wilson down to my right, and just like to acknowledge all those players. As David mentioned, schools rugby was very special to me. To play in 1996 and 1997, and I was going to mention it, but David's already mentioned it. We beat New Zealand Schoolboys at Ballymore, and I wasn't aware of it until actually Joe Schmidt brought it up to me that he was coaching that day, and I thought, oh, that's good because I was playing. And reflecting on that team and reflecting on the great players I played with in Schoolboys. In 1997, the back row was David Lyons, George Smith and myself, and 6 years later we played in the World Cup final together against an England Schoolboys England team, which in 1997 we also played England Schoolboys, and in that team was Andrew Sheridan was playing second row, went on and played loose head prop for England. Stephen Borthwick was second row, and in fact we billeted the English players, and I billeted Stephen Borthwick. And then in the back line was Tyndall and Wilkinson, who we obviously went on and played against in that World Cup final. Unfortunately, Johnny was playing in that World Cup final, but it was just my own personal reflections of how special schools rugby is and how it aligns to the pathways of Australian rugby. And like you, David, I read the South African article. I also keep a keen eye on other schools programs and pathways programs. And if you look across the teams that are leading the world at the moment, if you think about New Zealand, South Africa, Ireland, they're three countries that have very, very strong schools programs. Rugby Australia is very proud to work with the schools pathways, both across both the men's and women's, and I do think we've made great ground in the last period of time in aligning with the schools programs. And this year we're very excited to see the launch of the Australian Schools and Junior Rugby Union Championship to be held at Sunshine Coast in July, and the combined test series in October between Australian Schools and Fijian Schools, alongside the Australian 18s versus New Zealand under 18s in Canberra. So it's great to be bringing things together. I guess one thing I've been very focused on, and David touched on it, is just connection and alignment across the system, and how do we simplify things and bring people together across the rugby ecosystem. And a special mention to the growth of female rugby as well within the schools program, and the rapid rates of participation increase across the schools program is great to see, and obviously those representative teams that follow. I'll finish by just saying it's a huge year for rugby. It's a huge year to have the Lions coming to Australian shores, 9 fixtures across the country, up to 40 to 45,000 Lions supporters touring Australia, and it will be a great celebration of rugby in this country. And we've had a great start to both the Super Rugby Women's tournaments and Super Rugby Pacific, and hopefully we keep the progress that we are on, or the journey that we are on in that progress. So finally, I'd just like to thank everyone in the room. I guess most importantly, thank you to all the schools, the teachers, and those that support what is such an important part of the rugby ecosystem, being the schools pathways. Thank you.